Good afternoon, everyone. This is John once again, and I apologize that I have been unable to broadcast for the last 2 to 3 weeks because I was down with a very bad cold and I had a bad cough. I couldn't talk effectively for periods of time. However, now that it's improved, it's not as cold now. We are coming out of winter, and the weather is becoming more and more uh, favorable. Uh, my health has improved, and here I am coming back to do a new broadcast for us. A lot of things have happened over the past 2, 3 weeks. We have been seeing a lot of activities on the social media. We have also been seeing a lot of upgrades, and we have also been seeing a lot of new presentation made by the broadcasters, especially the leaders, Randy Wilson, Ben Lutz, Lawrence, and others. They have been so effective. They have been so resourceful, and they have been so helpful in helping everyone in the TBC community. Having said that, we are also aware that many of our leaders and many of our broadcasters are actively reaching out to prospects all over the world, and we are seeing a very healthy improvement in the family of the TBC community. So now what we see is we have got so many new people coming in, and so it is to our advantage that we also reach out to our new members and to give them more information so that they can catch up with the progress and the status of the TBC program. Uh, admin has also seen the need to occasionally revisit the mission of TBC, and admin has written out a very informative uh, piece of article, or he has put in an article in the blog uh, recently. And we know, of course, admin is anonymous, but he goes under the moniker of Chris Kringle. Now, he has written from his heart, from the bottom of his heart. He has revealed himself to us, the very nature that he is. And we can see that admin is truly a man of compassion, a man who is uh, reaching out, feeling for the poor all over the world, because uh, admin has admitted that he has come from that very background itself, which is the background of poverty and need in his young days. Of course, this is the kind of story that we have seen, we have heard all over the world. That many people who were born poor, coming from a very poor background and families that are much in need, they have worked, they have worked very hard. They have climbed the ladder. They have gone through the school of hard knocks. They have made something out of nothing. So we can now have a look at and see the background that admin has come out from and how he made his way up to become a multimillionaire, and how he has become a philanthropist in the sense that he wants to help a billion uh, TBC members to get out of poverty. Not every one of us are as fortunate as Chris Kringle. Not every one of us has the intellect. Not every one of us have the opportunity, and not every one of us have that kind of tenacity to fight through all kinds of obstacles, whether they are physical, natural, spiritual, or even governmental. And admin has written this beautiful piece of article which is called The Purpose of TBC. Well, TBC is the abbreviation of the billion coin. And this is exactly what admin has birthed this idea and have uh, started it for the benefits of the global uh, poverty. So he starts with this in his blog. He says, now let's talk about the purpose of TBC. In the first place, why was TBC created? And admin says and acknowledge that he is the creator of TBC and TBC is his original idea. It was his brainchild and he started off by saying, I was born into a poor family within my country. Of course, we do not know what country he came from, what was his background. Uh, it could be the States, it could be the Latin American countries, or it could be in anywhere in the Caribbean, or it could be just in the hills of America where the people are still living in the very meager standards of living. Nevertheless, admin say I was born into a poor family within my country. Okay, so he says growing up poor was a real challenge for me. I'm sure many of us can identify with this because many of us within the TBC community, within the TBC family, we come from poor families and we are facing real challenges on a daily basis. Then admin continues and says, however, eventually I was able to rise above poverty and admin has made it in the world and he became a millionaire. We do not know the exact journey that he had to go through, how long it took to go through it, and the mountains of challenges and obstacles that he had to face. And of course, through that richness of his personal uh, experiences, through the richness of his personal challenges that he has been able to overcome. Finally, Edmund had made it. He said he became a multi-millionaire. Then he tells us, I found that building teams was the easiest way to create wealth on purpose. So we need to have a purpose in our life. If we have no purpose in our life, we would have no achievement, we would have no goals, we would have no success. So he is telling us that for us to create wealth, for us to receive wealth, for us to keep wealth, we must have a plan. We must have a working plan or we must have a roadmap. So the main continue to say, I also spent an unusual amount of time researching why the world is the way it is. So it is not overnight that he discovered the road map. It is not overnight that he discovered the tools. He has to spend many years in equipping himself. I do believe that admin has gone through the mill. He has gone through the necessary education where he has acquired the skills, especially in terms of social economics, in terms of IT knowledge, in terms of psychology, and in terms of economy. So he said, I spent an unusual amount of time researching while the world it is. So to be able to do research, you must have some basic knowledge. You must know how things uh, operate in the world and in the financial circle. So he said that he spent way more time than any average person was willing to do. So he said, I faced the truth courageously. And when he found out the truth, he said that the truth is very, very scary. Why is it so? Now, for those of us who have a little bit of understanding and who have been reading uh, on the articles, reading on the publications and journals and also other economical magazines, we would know that the world is revolving around a small elite group of people. And this elite group, they have an agenda for the whole world. And this is not new. In fact, the elite groups has been in existence for over 100 years. And they have been passing on this agenda among themselves, among their families, among their uh, hierarchy, and it has been passing on from grandfather to father and to sons and so on. So once you see the size of this group and the political, the economical, and the military power that they yield, when we look at them and compare ourselves as individuals, we would just be like an ant, almost powerless to do anything about the evil schemes and about the evil plans that the elites has already put up in this world and already manage uh, the people in this world. In fact, personally, I have been reading, I have been educating myself for the last 20 years on the activities of the elites and how they have been uh, recruiting, how they have been sourcing and recruiting the brains that are even in the third world country. They go to the university and they identify young men and young women who are very, very intelligent, and they come and uh, bring them in, recruit them in, and they even have plans of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of putting these intelligent people in power in countries all over the world. But they would be put there by the elites. They would be actually acting like puppets of the elites when they even rule and govern the nation. This is not only happening in the third world countries, but you would see that it is happening in the West. In the West, where there are countries with prime ministers and presidents who are literally destroying their own countries with the orders and the agenda of the elites in mind. The elites only want to control and destroy countries and destroy populace. And with that, they would have the control over the economy, they would have the control over the financial institution, the banks, the insurance companies, and they would have control over all the wealth of the nations. They purposely bring in troublemakers like the terrorists that are now being imported into the West, into all the countries that are so ignorant, and many of them are also controlled by the groups of leftists who brings in unabated the rivers of refugees, hundreds of thousands, millions of young men who are coming into the nations to create havoc, to create economic instability, and also to create uh, uh, social and economical instability. So, what does this mean? If an uninformed public uh, looks at the situation, if the uninformed public or members of the public looks at the situation, we are led to believe that the governments or the authorities that we have voted in, that we can count on, will bring justice to this world. Theoretically, this is supposed to be so, that the governments that we vote in are supposed to look after the country, to look after the population, to look after the social and the economical needs of the people. Unfortunately, whether it is in the third world or whether it's in the developed world of the West, so many of these so-called authorities work for the elites, and many don't even realize that. Of course, we we see in the social media and across the world, there are people who have discovered this. There are people who have seen this, and they are brave enough to post and to create articles, videos, and so on to spread the news about the elites. These are the brave info warriors, and they are spreading the alarming warning about the elites. They are exposing how bad the elites are in our world, and they are showing and revealing the awareness of the campaigns that the elites run. But this is only informational. It cannot change anything in this world. All the videos, all the writings, and all the broadcasts that are shown in the social media cannot change the world. There must be concrete actions that must be taken to be able to change the world. So for the poor persons who feel and are frustrated, the more they become aware of what is going on in the world, the more frustrated that they'll become. Now, this problem of being manipulated and being victimized by the elites is not an isolated problem. It is not in one country. It is not directed at any single race or religion. In fact, it is cross-cultural. And in fact, the elites use the, the radicals uh, in certain religions to, to rampage throughout the countries in the world, whether they are uh, developed countries or third world countries. These are the radicals, religious fanatics who are going around the world. And they are bringing chaos, they are bringing uh, uh, anarchy into the world. They are just like a disease that is spreading, and the evils that they are spreading cause bloodshed, they cause civil war, they cause war crimes throughout the entire body of humanity, whether it is in the continent of uh, Africa, whether it's in the Middle East, whether it's in Europe, whether it is in the States or any other countries in the world. Their main agenda is to create war, to spread war, and also to cause anarchy, hardship, and failure in the countries. This is one part of their agenda. So, looking around us today, looking around uh, what is happening in the world, we see that the people of the earth, the people in the world today, we are in the middle of so many conflicts. There are so many wars that are going on, uh, tribal wars that are going on, ethnic wars that are going on, inter-border wars and cross-border wars that are going on. Even among the people of the same faith, they are fighting one another. And again, they are also fighting with people who are of different faiths. And all this, they do not see the source and the origin of this conflict. Now, these are all affected because of the plans and the agenda of the elites, where they want to cause all these troubles. The plan of the elites is that they want to divide and to conquer. And they have been implementing, they have been using this strategy most effectively worldwide. So countries are divided among themselves, races are divided among themselves, religious uh, radicals are divided among themselves, and there is no end to the amount of uh, evil and the anarchy that is going on. So, can we look beyond what we see on the surface? Can we understand or try to understand the conditions that are man-made? These are conditions that don't have to prevail. In the past thousands of years, men have been able to coexist and men have been able to grow and develop. But why is it that all of a sudden within the last 20, 30 years, so much problem has arisen? Now, we don't have to continue to face this problem. We can improve ourselves. We can make the choice in our life. Do we want to go down the same path as the elites have already planned for all of us, for all the countries? Or can we choose to opt out? Can we choose to overcome these conflicts that we are facing? And the very plan of the elites is to create poverty, to create needs so that there would be uh, disruption, there will be fighting in the world today. So, coming back to the blog article that admin has written, he continued to say, I may have been born poor, but I don't need to die in poverty. It's up to me to change that condition, and I did. So you too can do the same. In other words, admin is telling us we may be living in a poor country, we may be in a poor family. We don't have to continue to do so. We don't have to continue to live in poverty. We can change that condition and climb out of poverty. Well, admin has proven himself to us. He has shown the way, and now he has created the tools, and he has laid out a roadmap for us. So, with any aspect of your personal life, consider how you can change the level of your personal security. So, in other words, we are in control of our lives. What happened to us is within our grasp. We are responsible for our own well being. So, who do you trust with your security? Who do you trust with your future? Who do you trust with your well being? Well, it is only you yourself. How secure you are will depend on what you know, what you do, and what you plan. So, security comes from numbers. Coming back to the analogy that we who are so helpless as compared to the elites, we are like a single ant standing alone. And if we are so trusting and so naive as to expect the government to take care of our security, well, that means says the very least you can do, what you have done is you set yourself up for a great disappointment because the governments that we rely on will fail us. The governments that we rely on will not deliver what we expect them to deliver. So this is the fact and this is the truth. And that means saying, don't get me wrong, I am not anti-government. We need to face the facts. Just like the ants, we will have more protection if we unite and stand together as one for our security. That is true. Now, if the ants are united as a colony, they can even overcome the greatest force. They can overcome the greatest natural enemy because of their numbers. No animal in the animal kingdom, irrespective of their size and their strength, can overcome a colony of ants. The ants will bring down the strongest and the biggest and the most ferocious predator. So, coming back to the reality of life, regardless of whichever nation that we are in, regardless of whatever race that we belong to or religion that we practice, we need to come together globally in one body for protection. That's right. The elites are global, therefore, we also need to be global. So we need to be like a colony of ants. We need to have that mindset, just like the call of the musketeers, all for one and one for all. Every one of us in the TBC family, in the TBC community, we must rise up, everyone as one man, all for one and one for all. So there is no need to sacrifice our respective freedom to gain this security. All we need to do is to come together. In fact, we would have more freedom when we have greater unity. Admin is saying this. He's reminding us. Let me make this clear too. I am not an advocate of one mind, and I'm not an advocate of one new world order government. This is the exact opposite of what I'm talking about. There is safety in numbers. We don't want to be submissive to the new world order. We want to be out of the new world order, stand on our own in unity, and be able to withstand the plans and the agendas of the new world order. In this direction, admin is telling us, At this time, we have close to 3.3 million members in TBC, and this is a significant number. We all have been asked to unite around one thing, and that is we are to stand in unity, in agreement to the membership agreement. But yet, some people, some members, have not understood the importance of this agreement and they have not honored it. They want to do things their own way, they want to do things in their own style, in their own timing. So, this would not help in the TBC community. So, there is a need to purge. And so admin is saying that after the migration has taken place, this is now a time of house cleaning, and admin is doing exactly that. They are now sieving through and they are now removing those dishonest members. And what do you mean by dishonest members? Dishonest members who have been discounting the value of the coin, either the TBC coin or the Kringle coin. Dishonest members are those who are uh, lasting negative accusation against the program and bringing disrepute and doing all kinds of things to destroy the community. Some of them are scamming other members, and some of them are cheating other members of their coins and their money. So let me continue to say, once we fully unite under the membership agreement, once we fully understand it, once we fully embrace it, and the natural result will result in abundance for all. All of us would be blessed by the abundance in the value of the TBC coin. Some people are just too impatient. They want to succeed overnight without working, without waiting, and they start to abuse the TBC. So let us understand that the purpose of the billion coin is for our protection. And in an analogy, admin says, in the movie Bugs Life, the ants win, as we have said, when they become united, and they deserve it. So, like the ants, when we become united, when we become one and move as one, we can win over the elites too. We can become people who have the financial resources, will become the people who have the financial wealth, and we would be the people who would be funding ourselves for our personal security through the wealth that the program, the TBC, has created and distributed to us. TBC creates wealth fast, and TBC creates wealth automatically. TBC will make you and I rich and powerful as individuals, and the unity of the mass quantities of rich and powerful people will surely and definitely overtake the agenda of the elite and spoil them. So this is the vision and the mission of the admin of TBC. And the very purpose is to overcome and overtake the agendas of the elite to create poverty in the world. We can spoil the plans of creating chaos and creating poverty in the world. How can we do this? We can do this when once we reach our goal of uniting 1 billion people in the world. The achievement of ending poverty will then be within our grasp. Once we complete that mission, we will become an unstoppable force to do good in this world. Look, we can do good if we choose to, we can do good if we want to, and we can do good if we are proactive with this plan and purpose in mind, we will become an unstoppable force, just like the colony of ants. The colony of ants can climb over all kinds of obstacles. They bridge gaps, they climb rocks, they climb trees, they cross rivers. They do everything and they are unstoppable. We too, as the community of the billion coin, when we remain united and when we become more educated, then we will know how to become sovereign, and then everything will change for the better for every member within the community, within the TBC community. So this is the challenge of admin. Stand with us and know our purpose is that we are here to protect each other, and one day will become a force of nature to bring goodness into our collective world. This is the purpose, this is the vision, this is the mission for the creation of the Billion Coin program, which is to protect one another and to overcome the evil of the elites with goodness in the community, looking out for one another, caring for one another. To sum it up, let us ask this: what is the meaning of TBC? The answer is the meaning of TBC is the billion coin, abbreviation for the billion coin. It is a decentralized cryptocurrency, very much like Bitcoin, but TBC operates on its own structure and formula, which depends on the total growth of membership of TBC community. Secondly, what is TBC used for? The answer is we can use it to buy things like just like any other fiat currency or paper money, such as dollars, euro, yen, peso, and many other world currencies. Well, according to Richard Branson, a billionaire in the world, he has multiple flagships, and of course, uh, the most outstanding flagship is the Virgin Air. He said, cryptocurrency will transform the world. In TBC, we are on a mission to end poverty globally using our very own cryptocurrency of the billion coin. So what makes TBC unique among other digital currency? It is simple if you understand it. It is simple if you notice it. TBC has been built upon the fastest blockchain where confirmation and growth rate in the membership is the fastest among the blockchains in the world. And transaction in this blockchain is among the top three in the world. Next to Visa and Master, TBC is the fastest where within a span of 1 minute, the blockchain that TBC has purposely and purposefully designed solely for the use of TBC can handle a transaction of 200 over 1,000 transactions within 1 single minute. And this is very fast technology and tailor-made for TBC because we are going to transact among the 1 billion members when we have achieved the target. Now, TBC as a cryptocurrency is a digital money, and it is used to regulate and the generation of currencies and to verify the transfer of funds via the blockchain that TBC has. And this is independent from any central bank of the world. In other words, the Federal Reserve, the uh, World Bank, the IMF, and every other national central bank has no control over our blockchain and over our currency. We, the members, are the one who are controlling, and we, the members, are the one who are operating this blockchain. So, looking at the world today, cryptocurrencies or the digital world is moving forward and moving fast. Every day, whether you are aware, whether you like it or not, it is a necessity that you must become part of it. We must involve and we must indulge ourselves into the uh, operation of the digital world because that is the future trend. We are going to move out of the fiat currency base, and we are going to move into the cashless society. TBC or the billion coin is the future crypto money that would be the future that we will see within the next 6 months to 2 years from now. So if we all put our minds together, if we put our hands together, if we continue to think TBC, to do TBC, and to promote TBC, then we would be able to bring about a new digital currency that would be of exclusive use among the family members or the community of the billion coin. So this has been my privilege to bring back again the article or the posting by admin to remind us of what the billion coin is, the function of the billion coin, and also the importance of remaining united as one so that we can face the challenges that the world would be facing right now. And we can prepare ourselves and equip ourselves to be able to withstand the global currency reset because we know that recession is coming into the world. We know that global currencies will be hit and there will be a destruction of global currencies. In fact, every day we are seeing this warning in the world, and we thank admin that they have also foreseen this, and we thank admin that they are not sitting on their own laurels, but they are now proactive. They have come up with TBC so that you and I can be protected. You and I can be well looked after when the world economy crash. So this is all that I want to share with you for today, and I trust that you have enjoyed it. You have been benefited. You have been blessed, and I will come back and talk to you again tomorrow. Bye bye for now, and this is John signing off. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.